and she used to be able to just find the strangest things wrong with people and fix them. Like they wouldn't know what muscle hurt, why it hurt. They'd send her to Melissa, and Melissa could analyze it, figure it out, and really she was just gifted at it and turned so many people's lives around because she'd help take them out of pain. So she wanted a new home for her family. She wanted a dog. She wanted to start to feel a little more grounded herself. She felt like so many healthcare professionals, she kind of gave her best self to everyone but her own self. So she established a family with animals. So Ralph was her dog, and he was this adorable little, mixed dog that she got at the pound. And she was worried because he'd been adopted a couple of times but then returned, like he didn't really fit in with the other people's lives, and they would keep him a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then return him back to whatever shelter it was that she was working with. So this bothered her conscience. She sort of felt like these other people had betrayed Ralph. Like, why did they keep returning him? That isn't right. And I want to make sure Ralph is happy. So I started to talk to Ralph, and he said, well, I don't know, it just didn't work out. And so they brought me back. So then Melissa would say, well, was he heartbroken? Was it awful? Did they not pay enough attention to him? Did he bite someone? She wanted to find out what was wrong with each of those other circumstances. So I would ask Ralph, what was wrong, Ralph? And he'd be like, well, I don't know. They just we liked each other, and this happened, that happened. Nothing big happened. I could just tell that they became dissatisfied, and I wasn't the right choice for them. He had some reasons. The one couple ended up having to work more. They decided that a dog was a bad idea because they weren't able to provide for him to get out in the middle of the day. And he didn't really know the nuts and bolts of that. He just knew that they came home and looked sad and upset whenever they saw him. So when they took him back to the pound, he was bummed. But he figured the people at the pound were very nice, and there were other dogs that were nice. It was stressful there for sure. But he kind of knew that somehow he would end up where he was supposed to end up. He kept saying, so I figured, I'll go back. And he started to get into a rhythm of this thing. I think he had 3 homes in a few months until Melissa found him. I think she was the 4th home. So, of course, for some animals, it's like very devastating to be bounced around like that. But Ralph would be like, I don't know. I figured it out, and I knew that somebody would find me. And he had this kind of strange faith about the whole thing. But Melissa wanted to know what was wrong with each of those homes. So finally, Ralph just said to her, well, why are we worrying about that? Like, we found each other. She wanted to, in other words, in her life, as a physical therapist, she found what was wrong with people and fixed it. She found the muscle that wasn't working properly, that wasn't functioning optimally, and she could transmute the problem in that muscle through her training and her skill as a therapist. So she wanted to know what was wrong with Ralph's life so that she could do the same thing for him. So it was a very lovely and noble thought on her part. But he kind of wasn't interested in that. He kept saying, well, we found each other. How beautiful. And she'd say, well, tell me more. What went wrong before so I don't make those mistakes? And he just wouldn't talk to her about it, which was interesting because people call me as an animal communicator so I can highlight miscommunications. And here was this dog saying, I'm not going to talk about all that stuff that went wrong in my past. Meanwhile, she and I really like each other. Her schedule works with my schedule. I think she's wonderful. He kind of felt like he was in the beginning of a great love. And he wanted to know why she was holding back. He said, well, why are we worrying? And that's a really big thought. Sometimes we want to worry about what's wrong with something, look at the past of it. Look at the originating causes more than just embrace what we have found and be in it and enjoy it. In other words, sometimes we want to bring all our old baggage forward instead of just saying, you know what, I found something pretty great. And I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. I think most people are. We want to kind of poke holes in this new, beautiful thing we found to say, is this real? Is this really this great? Or am I somehow being deceived? Am I deceiving myself? Is my past going to come back and bite me? Is it going to haunt me? So Ralph's message to her was, well, it most certainly will not come back to bite you, and it most certainly will not be a problem. Let's just focus on what's good. And she kept laughing. She said, well, he is just the most basic, simple creature, and I am trying to make a new family and a new life, and I am doing that with my loved ones. I keep thinking that they will back out of the deal of being with me, or I keep thinking that they'll discover some inner part of themselves that makes them realize, I picked the wrong woman. I don't really want to be with Melissa. So she wanted to push sort of her new family away and sort of make it be something that it wasn't. And so exploring all of Ralph's woes somehow was her way of poking and making sure, is this the right dog for me? So Ralph was hysterical because he wasn't buying into it. He's like, look, we're not doing that. We're just going to enjoy each other. We're going to enjoy life. And how about we just embrace the idea of let's not worry? And that I learned a lot from that session. I learn a lot from all sessions. I feel like have the best job in the world. I get to sit and reflect with people about their own reflections about their lives while I think about my own, and I think about what the animal's trying to teach them, and hopefully I can add a few bits of wisdom to help the person sort of process it so that they get the maximum benefit from the session and the maximum benefit for their lives, because they were just given a big hint, a big gift from their higher self that was showing them something that they could do differently. Don't bring forward all of your old stuff. Just be in the present. Be now. And she was so resistant in the beginning of the conversation. She didn't want to hear him, that he didn't want to talk about all the old stuff. He wanted to just be where he was now. And she laughed and said, that's what I do all the time with everybody. And it's her training. She was trained to find what's wrong, not really embrace what's right. Embrace what feels good. So she, Ralph, and I learned a lot in that session, I have to say. And they ended up living happily ever after, actually. It was a great story. I got to talk to Ralph many times over the few years because he had some other issues that came up later on that became physical, and I was able to help with that. And he was always very clear throughout all of our continuing work about what bothered him. Now let's just get over it and go on. And boy, out of the mouth of, that's wisdom, isn't it? Like, get over it, figure it out, go on, instead of mull it over, chew it, spit it up, and keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm Laura Rowley, and you're listening to Animal Connections with Laura Rowley on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. I'm on every Friday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can listen online or on your mobile devices. To learn more and for a full schedule, go to dreamvision7radio.com, which is the media partner for the Omega Institute.
What if your dog, cat, or horse could help you with your love life? What would they suggest? It's fun to think about and a wonderful way to conduct yourself. After all, Animals know well how to love and invite us to love them unconditionally. That's a pretty great way to live life. Animals always communicate with our highest good as their central focus, even when sometimes we feel stymied or frustrated with their behavior. Visit LauraRowleyHealer.com to book a workshop or private long-distance phone reading. Laura's readings and workshops help you find the part of you that's able to tune in and connect to your amazing animals. Laura Rowley believes we can all understand by listening differently. Book a workshop or private long-distance phone reading now by going to LauraRowleyHealer.com. That's LauraRowley healer.com.
Are you searching for a way to help create global change? Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's vision is to have an eclectic group of radio hosts dedicated to educating, enlightening, and helping humankind with positive messages and tools that enhance lives using different modalities and programs. If you would like to join our team and help illuminate the universe, call Deborah at 508-226-1723 or Deborah at dreamvision7radio.com.
EDECIA is a U.S. nonprofit dedicated to the dream of ending childhood malnutrition for millions of children around the world. Through the manufacture of Plumpy Nut and other nutrient-rich peanut-based ready-to-use foods, EDECIA has already delivered life and hope to nearly 1 million children in over 26 developing countries. To find out how you can join EDECIA's dream of ending childhood malnutrition, please visit edeciaglobal.org.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Stroll through the garden, relax by the lake, or try a daily yoga or movement class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
Animal Connections with Laura Rowley is an intuitive show created for you to learn what it's like to talk to animals. Laura shares 20 years of experiences of being a pet psychic and healer every Friday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, media partner for the Omega Institute. Our beloved animals share our lives and have amazing insights into our well-being, providing us with opportunities for personal growth once we truly begin to listen. It's fun to use animal wisdom to enhance our emotional and spiritual world. Who better than our furry friends to teach us the wisdom born of unconditional love?
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Hi, I'm Laura Rowley, and this is Animal Connections with Laura Rowley. Welcome back. You're listening to Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're discussing animals as healers and how they, in our lives, teach us about ourselves, maybe even functioning slightly as the voice of our higher selves, so that we can get a good look at ourselves sometimes from a totally different perspective, a neutral perspective sometimes, but sometimes animals are self-interested and they want us to sort of look at that as well. And you never really know, you never often know in a relationship, are you participating as fully as you can, or are you maybe backing off a little bit in your relationship? So animals tend to be in it in a big way. They tend to go for it with us. You know, your dog runs to the door, can't wait to see you, jumps on you, wags his tail, barks with joy when you get out the leash. You get out the car keys, yay, where are we going? He doesn't even know where we're going, and he wants to go. You know, they're in. Cats, even if they're being a little bit standoffish, they're often purring, laying down next to us, fully ready to be available, intimate, and part of our world for a few moments every day when we have a couple minutes and we sit down with them. So they in many ways are just teaching us so much about being who we are and what we are in a big way.